Welcome, because when this lead goes solo, he goes solo. Welcome to another episode of the Inner Circle Podcast. I am your host, Charlie, missing my best girlfriend, Melanie. Golf clap to clap, I do miss her. But like the golf clap she gives me, I have what it takes to lead the the pasture on. Um, I lost it with that one. What I was gonna say with that one. But welcome to another episode of the Hidden Circle Podcast, y'all. And thank you for tuning in. This week I am going at it solo dolo. Hi Dolo. Congrats on winning the Traders. Dolores Catania. I'm one of my favorite housewives. But I'm going at it solo today, bringing you this show today, and I'm excited because we have a lot in store. We have some circle poll. You know, we love doing circle polls on our Instagram page, which if you're not following us on Instagram, you should be following us on Instagram. We post so many things, from nostalgia things, from the latest news to everything going on with us, plus we're in the World Series, all that good stuff. So make sure you follow us on Instagram. But we have the circle polls that we're going to discuss today on the show. Ask Charlie. I pulled some questions that were sent in from people during our Ask Charlie segment that we posted on Instagram. So I am going to answer a few of those today. Plus, we're going to get into so much other things. But something that I was actually this week and being perspective about, right? And I came upon an article that made me think about this is my perspective on why millennials, and I hear there's a lot, why millennials are traveling and not conforming to the back in the day marriage, kids, the what basically was instilled in us as from the beginning of times of you get married, you have kids, you do this, you do that by the books, where millennials are breaking free from that. And we see, obviously, we live in the age of social media. We see the traveling and a lot of millennials doing that. Me being one of them, for example, I am not a dad, although I'm about, entering my 40s soon, you know what I mean? But I say that with confidence because look at this flesh. But all jokes aside, though, you know, I'm not a dad yet. I want to be a dad. It's my dream, and I know I have what it takes to be a dad. And I envision myself as a dad to a boy. I've always wanted to have a baby boy and raise that boy. But I'm not a dad yet. But I'm living my life, and I feel like a lot of like my speaking for some of us, I'm not going to speak for all of us, but speaking for myself. And I think maybe this is a conversation that we could go into broader introspect with, Melanie when she's back on, or even Melanie and Barbie. Shout out to Barbie. We're going to get you in soon, girl. We miss you. So, but I speaking for myself is like I'm living my life. You know what I mean? Like life's too short, and I think millennials have lived and seen a lot from a young age where it's we know it's like, yo, this fucking life is crazy. So I'm going to live my life the best I could be, the best I could do while on this earth before I go, because you never know where you could go. You know what I mean? So speaking for myself, but yeah, I think it's very different from, as the generations have gone by, we are the most progressive. We set the tone for that progressiveness and the progressive way of thinking, most of us, where we're not conforming to the, you know, basically the rules, the slavery of society of what people expect from you. But not saying that if that's what some people have done, it's the wrong thing, or judging that. Everyone has their own path, but I feel like most of us have broken free from that, especially our generation, from that old way of thinking of our grandparents, great grandparents, great great grandparents, and even some of our parents, depending age and stuff from when they had us. So, but definitely something I want to explore more with my girl Melanie when she comes back on. But something that I want to talk about because we did this with Melanie and I did this. We actually went to Dallas, Texas. There's not many artists I've gone out. I could say I've gone traveled to another state to go and see in concert, but I sure did it for Beyonce and Melanie as well. We went to Dallas, Texas, and for the Renaissance tour, which was what I felt was a movement, like a cultural phenomenon. And when I say that is because, especially because of social media, we've seen no matter like in different tour dates, like different celebrities, and obviously she had her costume changes and the whole, world, the mute challenge. It was a cultural phenomenon, if I may say so. But they're saying the Cowboy Carter tour is not selling as well, where now they are discounting tickets from their original prices. Well, let me start right there with the original prices. Beyonce, baby girl, I know you are the queen, and you know that you're the queen because your beehive and all that stuff. But like, listen, my new slogan is we're living in a Trump era where eggs cost $18 depending where you live. So a dozen. So with that being said, baby girl, 12 like the amount of money you're charging for those tour tickets, yesterday's price is not today's price. And today's price is like it's giving recession if it continues the way it's going. So it's like obviously I feel like yes, those tickets are not going to be selling like before, and I think people are knocking her and then trying to get deep into why maybe the ticket why the poor ticket sales, trying to tie in the whole Jay-Z scandal being tied into Diddy, although he sued and won, and that victim retracted her you know what she went for. But with that being said, I just think me personally viewing this and listening to everyone's chatter about this, it's down to like, listen, we are being aware of what we're spending our money on. You know what I'm saying? So, we are not just frivolously spending it. And yes, we're still living our lives, but we are being aware of exactly what we want to spend our money on. So, trying to charge like fucking $800 for $1,000 for a tour ticket, a seat. Like, sorry, sis, it's not happening, not this time around. And to add, for myself, speaking for myself, that Cowboy Carter album wasn't what the Renaissance album was. People like it for their own reason, and I know why some people are like, yes, what she did with this album. I get it, y'all, but just because the movement behind it and the message behind it doesn't mean the album was great. And some people may be like, well, you don't know music, you don't know country. And maybe I don't, because country is not my favorite genre. So with that being said, that's why I'm not running out to spend $1,000 for a seat to go see this album where she's going to mostly perform most of these songs that really, none of them stuck. I maybe like one or two songs, and I don't even really play them like that anymore. So that's that for that. But all in all, listen, now don't get me wrong, y'all. I'm talking my shit here. But come the time, if while she's around my area and if someone says you want to come with me for free, I'm there. Listen, I'm down for if it's free, it's for me. And I'm down for an experience. Speaking of an experience, I went to an orchestra this past weekend for the first time, and that was definitely an experience. And it was in a church as well. So I love churches, and this was an old church. It had history. It had story, architecture, and I love churches. I really do love churches. It's one of my favorite things, especially when I travel to visit different churches. And it's for me as a spiritual person, when I'm in churches or see a church, even from the outside, whether I go in and out, it's just something to bask in and feel. So, but that was an amazing experience. Orchestra for the first time. Now, listen, it was an all gay orchestra, which is the only gay orchestra in New York City. Surprisingly, California has two, Minnesota has one, and I think there's some one somewhere else I heard of All Gate Orchestra. But all in all, it was amazing. It was moving, and I had a great time. Now, would I run and see an orchestra every weekend? No, but definitely, here and there, the bourgeoisie type thing. But that was a cool experience to do. But yeah, I'm all about the experience. But speaking of, let's get to some circle polls. We put up some polls. It's been a while that we've done circle poll, and I love a good circle poll because, listen, I think it's good to get perspectives, right? It's good to get perspective. So here we go. Let's get into some circle polls. And while I look this up, y'all, I gotta make sure to get the questions going. Now you see, these are the times I miss Melanie because she will be filling in, right? Now I'm just saying, but here I got it. So we put up a few circle polls and from different range of topics, and let's get to the first one. Come on, tongue pop. The first one being that we put up as a circle poll, and listen, I love, and I've said it before, and I will say it again. We're getting more numbers on Instagram, and people participating. I think back when we started, people were shy to vote for shit. Where now people are really voting, and I love to see it. Like I love vote. I love participating in polls too that I see on Instagram. So shout out to people voting and stuff. And listen, this it was double digits with this one, but here we go. While in a here, oh, wait a minute, because listen, baby, we we are hot tech around here. Let's get officially into circle poll. Let's go, y'all. There we go. Now, first circle poll that we have up for discussion. While in a relationship, is it cool for your partner to spend on an ex or a fling? While in a relationship, is it cool for your partner to spend on an ex or a fling? And listen, let's not even pussyfoot around it. It was fucking unanimous. And I was shocked. It was unanimous. But it was the choices were yes, it's cool, or hell no. And it was 100% hell to the nah, nah, nah. Hey, Sheree. Listen, I'll say this. Ain't no way. Sometimes, okay, because I'm a nice person. Depending. If the person needs, I don't talk to them, whatever, maybe. Like if they're really in need and I'm just trying to be nice. But with that being said, continuously spending on an ex or a fling, I don't think so. That money that you're spending could go into us, me. Hello, I'm a little selfish. I'm your man. Or for anyone, well, speaking for myself, yeah, no. It just won't fly for me. So if you're that type of dude that likes spending on an extra fling like that continuously, we ain't a match. But and a lot of other people out there won't be a match either because they are. It's everyone said hell no. No one said yes. It's cool. Maybe we should have had a third option like it depends. Maybe we'll redo this one again to see that where it depends. To be fair, but next longest relationship. So it went from 1 to 2 years, 3 to 8 years, 7 to 9 years, and 10 plus years. And we had at 30% 10 plus years, which love to see that for the people 10 plus years. That's amazing. We had 20% with 7 to 9 years. Again, that's pretty good as well. But 3 to 8 years, and that's a big range. So it could be, yeah, it could be eight. It could be the 7 to 9. Then don't make sense. But 3 to 50%. So there was a little mess up there on that one. But 50% said 3 to 8 years. So I'm assuming 3 to 6 years. 3 to 6 years. So that was that. What is the longest relationship y'all been in? For me, it was, I would say 4 years. Mine was definitely 4 years. It was my most recent relationship, and yeah, the longest relationship prior to that was 3 years, and then there was maybe two that on and off, and I'm counting these two on and off like separately, maybe 2 years or so. But yeah, those are my longest relationships. And then one was 1 year, counting my serious relationships, anyways. Um, let's get into another circle poll we had. So this is an interesting one. Should the birthday okay, so now we know there's be birthday dinners and when there's a birthday person, the birthday person may invite a lot of different people and it turns into a group and stuff. Now, should the birthday person pay for the dinner/dinner party? The options were yes, if it's set up by the birthday person, or absolutely not, it's their day. So it was a landslide. 90% voted absolutely not if it's their day, while 10% voted yes, it's yes if it's set up by the birthday person. Listen, I don't think the birthday person should pay. I don't think the birthday person should pay. The birthday person should be carefree on their birthday. It's their day. They shouldn't have to worry about any drama about who's putting this or who's putting that, or people fighting over the money or fighting over who's gonna pay. Like, just everyone get their shit together, do what they have to do, because that's just no one on their birthday. I mean, no one should have to deal with that. So but no, the birthday person should not have to pay on their birthday, and I agree with that, and so do a lot of other people. So let's see. I think we had one more. Did we have? Let's. I believe we had one more circle poll that I want to make sure. Yeah, I think that's about it. That's about it. So, but you know what wasn't just it yesterday? Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny has broken the internet, like, and no one has broken the internet in a while, since the days of the Kim Kardashians and the Rihannas and stuff, when they will pop up with some shit. Bad Bunny has broken the internet with the drop of his collab. He's the face now of Calvin Klein, y'all. Calvin Klein. Damn, daddy, damn. Like, listen, let me take a sip because I'm a little thirsty right now. I'm a little parched. When I seen these images in the video, I was like, and then his little swerve, little bottom move, if you know the where he does. I was like, oh, okay, okay, okay. I was like, oh, tell us what we've been suspecting. No, but all jokes aside, the man is young. I like y'all know I love me Benito. Y'all know he's my favorite. Ese hombre es mío. Hi, Olga Tañón. Mío. My fellow Pisces brother. Whew, I will go down in bed with that guy and I. Well, before y'all start turning it off, because I think this is turning into a sex novel. But nah, listen, he broke the internet. Ladies, gentlemen, days and dems, everyone alike were salivating. I seen the comments, I seen it all go down, and I'm just so happy for him, because all in all, Look Society stuff is the strides he's making as someone straight out from the island, Puerto Rico, someone who had a dream, and I'm sure in his wildest dream, like, he did not think he would get as big as he is. And I say that as a fellow Pisces. So I know he's just living his wildest dream. And I'm so proud of him as a fellow Boricua, a fellow Pisces. And I will always be a fan. I will always be a fan and be rooting for him. and can't wait to fucking go to Puerto Rico and see him in fucking concert. That's gonna be amazing. That's like one of my highlights of the year that I'm looking for, and that's gonna be lit because it's like a group of us, and once again we go to Puerto Rico around the same time that we went last year, so it's like, it's meant to be. So it's gonna be lit. Something else that Bad Bunny did yesterday, while dropping this and breaking the internet, he performed at the iHeartRadio Music Award. He performed "Ill," which was the same song that was playing, as the promotion of the Calvin Klein ad. And there he goes. He performed "Ill" at the iHeartRadio Music Award. I didn't watch it, people. I'll be transparent. I did not watch it. I know that Mariah Carey was honored. She was there with Anderson .Paak, which is someone who she's been rumored dating. And people, will talk about that because of the little age difference. Listen, age ain't nothing but a number. No, actually, no. There's boundaries. But with that being said, actually no, because according to Madonna, she's like dating a 28-year-old right now. And she's like, how old is Madonna now? Like 60 something, 70 something year old. But shout out to her. If you could do it, do it. But with that, but yeah. So all I did watch was Bad Bunny's performance of "Ill," which, first of all, "Ill" is my favorite song on the album. I could say that freely. Just so many of my songs that I love from De Vita and My Fotos. Nueva York is a very close one, but there's a lot. There's a lot. I love a lot of them, but it was definitely my favorite one. To see it on the promotion ad for Calvin Klein, and then to see him actually performing at the iHeartRadio Music Awards. I hope we get a visual, Benito. I know you shot Nueva York. I know you just dropped La Mudanza, but life will be like, oh, if he drops a visual for "Ill," because that is my fucking song. And when he performs that in Puerto Rico, I keep telling the group I'm going with, I'm going to fuck off. I'm going to fuck off at that concert. I'm gonna be dancing my ass off all night. I can't wait. But let's get into, y'all, a segment that I like to do. I like to do this segment when Melanie's not around, and to fill in some time as a segment, right? So this segment is Ask Charlie, in case you didn't know. And by the way, real quick before I get rid of this image, you see the reference. You see the reference. If you know, you know. If you pay attention to details, you know. But I want to get into this segment that I like to do, Ask Charlie. And actually, y'all want to know something funny of how I came up with Ask Charlie? And I'm very inspired also by my childhood as well, with things like artistically and things that come to mind and things I like to do. And Ask Charlie, actually, especially me naming the segment Ask Charlie. Remember, if y'all know, y'all know. If you know all that, this is all that. This is all that. Well, that show, Amanda Bynes, a good sis. May God be with her and many blessings to her. If you know, you know as well. With her, so prayers to her. She used to have a little skit on all that where it used to the segment or the little skit was like, "Dear Ashley, that's me," and it was like where people sent like questions to her and she would like answer it. So yeah, so it kind of came from like the "Dear Ashley," ask, well, it was "Dear Ashley," but Ask Charlie, not "Dear Charlie." Should I do a "Dear Charlie"? I don't know. Let me know. But Ask Charlie, here we go. So I picked a few questions that were sent in to answer. One of them being, what happened to your 1111 boxes? So I'm assuming like what happened, like why maybe I'm not promoting it or pushing it. So let's say that. Let me tell you this, and I'm gonna answer it in the way I received the question. That's what I always do. As an entrepreneur, especially a new entrepreneur launching things, trying things, there's going to be trial and error. There's going to be ebbs and flows. and then there's going to be, there's going to be maybe a moment where you do feel like momentum, and then the momentum kind of slows down. And I think as a new entrepreneur, as someone doing something like that, and as someone who back in the day would have been sensitive to it, now I'm not, because I understand that even like in big business, established business, things have ebbs and flows. Things, are hot at a moment and stop, or some things, launch, have a little what seems like a little launch, but then it's like fizzles out, and then you have to reboot and rethink and rewire and come again. So as I'm saying all that to answer that, it's like that's exactly it for me. You know what I mean? Like, there's a market for it. I'm thankful for the people who supported. I pushed it during this last holiday season. But again, I'm also aware that we live in times where people are being very specific on what they spend their money on, and they're being selected on brands, etc. So it's retooling and rethinking how I could compete with that. So, and as a artist and entrepreneur, it's something that you mull over and think and retool to you ready to launch the next thing. So, but hopefully that answers that question. The next question is, and I love this question. It's one of the questions I decided to answer because I love it. Are you feeling Mercury retrograde? Yes, I am. I really am. And it's not only me, and not that I want everyone to feel it, but I'm thankful that it's not like, because sometimes you're like, oh my God, what's going on with me? Am I going mad? But then when you talk to other people, and a lot of people are describing the same feelings and the same like weirdness or answer, and whatever way they describe it and words they use, is like, oh my God, me too. It goes to show you that you're not alone. And I truly believe in what's going on planetary wise, universe wise, God, the creator, or whatever you call him. It's all effects, you know what I mean? Moon, this, that. And right now, yeah, Mercury retrograde started the 15th, and Venus is also in retrograde. So two planets in retrograde, and we know what Mercury means. So I'm feeling the effects big time, where I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling like blah, moody, emotional. And it's like, I don't know why the tiredness, because I am getting in like at least like I'm getting in enough. It's not like I'm not sleeping. I'm getting in some sleep, like at least 6 hours. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from, but I've talked to a few people where they're feeling the same way. So yes, I'm feeling the effects of Mercury retrograde along with another planet being retrograde, Venus. So but last question to answer to wrap up here. What and this is a messy question, and I sometimes like to, I don't have to answer it, but listen, I'm a producer. And I'm producing the show. And sometimes you gotta answer the messy question from the messy people, even those people who are coming from a burner page. So I'm gonna answer this question. So let's go. What ex would you go back to? What ex would I go back to? Um, to be honest, none of those exes. At this point, if you would have asked me that maybe a few years ago, I would have maybe said something. But like, I wouldn't go back to any of those exes, just because I'm at a point where I look at those exes as a time and point in my life, and I feel like there's nothing to revisit. Like those points and chapters have been closed with those particular exes. Um, from the inception of me, from my first boyfriend of being 17 to like, 2019, those relationships they were what they were, and there's nothing more to explore in that sense. And I feel comfortable enough where I'm at to say that. I think, now I think I know now. And Melanie likes to bring it up. Well, we've discussed it. We talk about that one person who got away, or who could have been someone, or that I was crazy over. Yes, there is that one person, and that one person still stands. But that one person is very happy in a relationship, and I respect people. I do not interfere in people's relationships at all. Listen, listen. Are there many people out there who be in my DMs and be hitting me up and I know they have boyfriends and be doing too much? Yes, but I don't cross boundaries. I also fall back. I don't entertain those people like that a lot, because it's like I wouldn't like that to happen to me. I don't. It's happened to me where I've had boyfriends entertaining other motherfuckers out there and stuff. So, you know, yeah, like, nah. So I don't entertain him. I don't entertain him much. But um, so I get it. But I wouldn't go back. I'm good. I wouldn't go back to any boyfriend. Onward and forward. Onward and forward. God has new things for you and new plans for you, and new chapters for you. Sometimes, and you have to realize that too. As humans, sometimes we like to go back to comfort, but or stay in comfort. Listen, if you're happy, you're happy. If that person, you y'all find out ways to renew your happy, even when y'all go through those spurts and stuff. Love that. And I believe I will find that one day. But we also have to realize sometimes when we're going back to comfort, or we're staying in comfort just because that exact word, comfort. But hopefully that answers that question, that long drawn out answer that we went into. You see, I like to pick questions where I could give y'all a little story to it, right? But thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode. It's been a while since I've done a solo episode, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yeah, I gotta go. That's my motorcycle. If y'all heard it, I don't know, but I gotta go like Batman in the night. But remember to follow, like, subscribe, share, support everything in the circle. Follow us on Instagram. And next week, I have my best girlfriend back. Yes, she's back with me again, and we will be reunited. So tune in next week for an all new episode every Wednesday. We have a new drop at 8 p.m. Thank you guys so much. Adios. Nos vemos. Thank you for watching. Make sure to follow, like, share, subscribe, everything the Inner Circle podcast, and catch us every Wednesday live at 8 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook.